why nobody thinks about you as much as you think. Have you ever had an embarrassing moment that you couldn't stop thinking about? Maybe you said the wrong thing in a conversation. Maybe you waved at someone who wasn't actually waving at you. Maybe you tripped in public, made a mistake during a presentation, or posted something online and immediately regretted it. For the rest of the day, maybe even the rest of the week, it stayed in your head. You replayed it over and over. You imagined what people must have thought. You wondered if they were still talking about it, still remembering it, still judging you. But here's the strange truth. Most people probably forgot about it almost immediately. In fact, they were probably too busy worrying about their own mistakes to spend much time thinking about yours. Psychologists call this phenomenon the spotlight effect. And once you understand it, it can completely change the way you see yourself and the people around you. The spotlight effect is our tendency to believe that other people notice us far more than they actually do. It's called the spotlight effect because we feel as if a giant spotlight is shining on us wherever we go. Every action feels visible. Every mistake feels public. Every flaw feels obvious. But the spotlight mostly exists inside our own minds. Think about it. You are the center of your own experience. You hear every word you say. You notice every mistake you make. You remember every awkward moment. Because of that, your brain assumes everyone else is paying just as much attention. But they're not. Because they are the center of their own experience. Right now, somebody else is worrying about the embarrassing thing they did yesterday. Someone else is wondering whether people noticed their haircut. Someone else is replaying a conversation and questioning everything they said. Everyone is busy living inside their own heads. And that's exactly why they spend much less time thinking about you than you imagine. This idea was demonstrated in a famous psychological experiment. Researchers asked college students to wear a very embarrassing t-shirt into a room full of other students. The participants felt uncomfortable immediately. After leaving the room, they were asked to estimate how many people had noticed their shirt. The students believed that roughly half the room had noticed it, but when researchers actually asked the people in the room, the number was much lower. The participants had dramatically overestimated how much attention they were receiving. And the same thing happens to us every day. Imagine you walk into a classroom or meeting and accidentally say something awkward. It feels huge. You think everyone noticed. But what are the chances that everyone in that room goes home and spends the evening thinking about what you said? Almost zero. Most people will forget within minutes. Not because they don't care, but because they have their own lives, their own worries, and their own problems competing for attention. Here's a simple exercise. Try remembering an embarrassing thing someone else did last week. It's surprisingly difficult. Most of us can't remember many examples. Yet we can remember our own embarrassing moments from years ago. That's because our brains give special importance to experiences involving ourselves. Our mistakes feel larger. Our failures feel louder. Our awkward moments feel more significant. But that's a distortion created by perspective. To everyone else, your mistake is just one small moment in a very busy day. There's another reason we overestimate how much people think about us. Human beings naturally want social acceptance. For most of human history, belonging to a group was essential for survival. Being rejected could have serious consequences. As a result, our brains evolved to pay close attention to social signals. We constantly monitor what others might think of us. The problem is that this system often overreacts. It treats small social mistakes as if they are major threats. A slightly awkward conversation feels much bigger than it really is. A small failure feels catastrophic. A moment of embarrassment feels unforgettable. But in reality, most people barely notice. And even when they do notice, they usually forget quickly. Think about the people you admire. Do you remember every awkward thing they've ever done? Probably not. You remember the overall impression they leave behind. And that's how people see you, too. They don't remember every little mistake. They remember the bigger picture, the way you treated them, the energy you brought into a room, the kind of person you seemed to be, not the one awkward sentence you said 3 months ago. Understanding this can be incredibly freeing. It means you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to carefully analyze every conversation afterward. You don't have to avoid opportunities because you're afraid of looking foolish. You can raise your hand, speak your mind, start a conversation, post that video, apply for that job, take that chance. Because even if things don't go perfectly, people are far less focused on your mistakes than you think. The person you're trying to impress is often busy trying to impress someone else. The person you're worried is judging you is usually worried about being judged themselves. Everyone is standing in their own spotlight. And that means the spotlight isn't really on you. One day you'll look back and realize how much time was wasted worrying about what other people thought. The opportunities you didn't take, the conversations you avoided, the experiences you missed, all because of an audience that mostly existed in your imagination. So the next time you find yourself replaying an embarrassing moment, remember this. Most people have already forgotten. They're busy living their own lives, just like you're living yours. And perhaps one of the most liberating truths in psychology is this. Nobody thinks about you as much as you think they do. And once you truly accept that, you become a lot more free.